Nvidia GPUs actually in stock at MSRP in the real store. Now, things are changing. I've been talking about this for the last few weeks. We're going to talk about the big changes if you can expect to find a GPU near you as well. So let's get started. A lot of exciting things happening. Hey guys, Tiago with Classical Technology. Remember to subscribe and smash that like button. They say every time you do, you get a chance to walk into a store and see a glass shelf full of GPUs. I can't really put into words how awesome it is seeing something like this after the big drought that we've had recently. And before we get into the video, I just want to tell you guys a little cool project I'm working on as well. This company, NKI, was nice enough to send this to me. Now, this is a CFExpress Type B card. This goes in the Canon R5. It's a really fast CFExpress card. I'm going to do something that may matter to you. I'm going to use something like this. I'm working on a project. This is a Thunderbolt 3 reader. Put this little card in the reader. I'm going to see if I can actually boot Windows off of this and see if I can have it play games and do everything, because it's really faster than an SSD. Stay tuned for that video. All right, so let's talk about that image that we saw. That's at the Micro Center. That's in Yonkers, New York. As you can see, the shelves are full of GPUs. There's pretty much no line or anything like that. They seem to have been in stock for quite a while. Some are even in stock now, the last time that I checked. I even went by another Micro Center yesterday, and they also had GPUs in stock, but here was mostly the AMD GPUs. Let's talk about the timeline of what has been happening, because this is going to indicate if a GPU is going to be coming to you sometime soon, even if you don't have a local Micro Center. I know a lot of my comments, sometimes people say, oh, why do you talk about Micro Center? They're only available in certain parts in America. Yes, but they do indicate a nice little benchmark of what is starting to become in stock. So first, we all know the history. 2021 has been abysmal for GPU stock, the worst I've ever seen. In fact, even secondhand scalpers disappeared the last few months. You couldn't even overpay for a GPU in a lot of cases. This was really at its peak around April and May, when coincidentally Ethereum mining was at its highest point. At that point, if you walked into this very same store that you saw sort of these glass shelves, and I've done it before multiple times, absolutely empty. Not even AMD overpriced GPUs with the MSRP were on these shelves. Pretty much empty. The only thing you would see is a GTX 710 or maybe some type of a Quadro card, something that's not related to gaming. Very, very empty. That's the first piece of the timeline. The second piece, as the Ethereum price started to go down, AMD GPUs were the first one available because for whatever reason, the third-party manufacturers decided to really mark up the MSRP. We've talked about this several times. 6900 XT for as high as $2,700. 6800 XTs were $1,300, $1,400. Of course, outrageously high. AMD GPUs were the first to be in stock. These highly priced AMD GPUs pretty much were the first ones to sort of fill these glass shelves. If we can use the glass shelves as a metaphor for what's going on worldwide, it's going to indicate where stock is starting to trickle in. Now, AMD GPUs also weren't very attractive to miners just because for the price, they didn't really present a very interesting, hash rate or anything like that, efficiency compared to a 3070, a 6800 XT, which is more expensive. Even though it's definitely going to game better, it really has around the same hash rate. So most people decided to go for Nvidia. That's also part of the reason why Nvidia really wasn't, apparent anywhere on these shelves for the last few months. And then finally, the third piece of the puzzle, sort of the third piece of the timeline. Finally, we're actually seeing Nvidia GPUs on the shelves. Now, in some cases, these are going to be a lot of sort of the light hash rate GPUs. For example, we can see the 3060s, 3070 Ti, 3080 Ti, and of course you're going to see 3090s here or there. Even though the 3090 is not limited by any sort of light hash rate, it is an expensive GPU, so traditionally it's one that usually will sell out last. If you have other GPUs on the shelves that are cheaper, and gamers typically will go for those because they're going to present a better value, but in this case, you can see it's a lot of light hash rate GPUs. Anyway, it's a good sign that the GPUs are actually being on the shelves. Before, it would be either nothing, a little bit of overpriced AMD third-party GPUs, Now, at least we have Nvidia GPUs, and most of them that are coming out are going to be light hash rate anyway. And if you're a gamer, this is not really going to matter to you. So it seems like the strategy that Nvidia implemented to limit these GPUs, along with the Ethereum and crypto prices sort of going down ever since May, you can definitely follow the graph if you take a look. It seems like that strategy is certainly working because now in July, we see these GPUs on the shelves. Now, if we compare the AMD versus Nvidia GPUs on the shelves, of course, sort of the mining performance aside for those that want to get it for that purpose, you're going to notice that the MSRP, at least of these that we see, seem to be a lot closer to reality than some of the AMD MSRP on these GPUs. Now, ever since the third-party AMD GPUs came out, I always thought that they really priced them just way too high from the beginning, while the Nvidia ones have been a little bit closer to reality in the beginning. Recently, of course, they did get pretty expensive, but as you see here, the 3080 Ti from EVGA, that one seems to be around $1399, which seems to be a fair MSRP for it, considering all of the prices that we've seen before. Of course, the Founders Edition is a little bit cheaper, but that one's going to be a lot more difficult to get. This is going to be an EVGA for the Win 3. Likewise, it seems like the 3090 is also pretty close to the original MSRP here. This is also the for the Win 3 for, EVGA. That's certainly much better than seeing a GPU like this at $3,000 or $2,500 as we were seeing them on the secondhand market. So here is sort of proof that at least MSRP pricing for these Nvidia GPUs have certainly come down fairly quickly. Now, the 3060 Ti, you'll see there are some models there as well. They also seem to be fairly priced. Of course, remember, this is going to be a third-party GPU. 3070 Ti for $799. That's a EVGA GPU. That seems actually pretty fair for what it is. We typically would have seen these for well over $1,200 or $1,300 on the secondhand market. Look at the 3070. In May, you pretty much had to pay $1,300 or $1,400 for a regular 3070. So 3070 Ti being $799 and actually on the shelf where somebody can walk in and buy it, as far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty huge development. So that's what I want to reiterate here. It's certainly not optimal. It's not perfect yet. Not everybody has these stores near them, but them being, at least look how many GPUs are on the shelf, and them being on the shelf is going to indicate that things are certainly changing, even if it is the light hash rate model. If you're a gamer, do you really care? You really want to get a GPU at the closest that you can for MSRP. Now, previously, I said that now was actually starting to be a pretty good time to buy a GPU, and some people complained. They said, oh, don't overpay for a GPU now. You're just going to incentivize Nvidia and AMD to charge more. But look at what's happening. GPUs are actually coming back down to closer to their MSRP. I'm not saying you should overpay or even buy the more expensive GPUs that are over MSRP, but now, today, we have clear-cut examples of GPUs that are staying in stock a little bit longer than 5 minutes like they've been online, and they're pretty much at their third-party MSRP, which is close to the Nvidia MSRP. Sometimes they'll be over by a few $100s because they're a third-party card, which is acceptable and normal. So as you can see, certainly a difference, and for now, it's certainly a better time now than it's ever been, at least this year, to buy a GPU. Hopefully, the trend continues in the positive direction. That's where we'll sort of sum up the video in the end here. Now, we hope that these GPUs keep staying at their MSRP and they stay available. That's going to pretty much eliminate the scalper and secondhand market. And as long as crypto kind of stays where it's at, I really think that most likely that's the trend that we're going to go in as manufacturing ramps up and production definitely gets back to normal. But there certainly is a chance that other unpredictable events happen to really skew this course and make prices and availability go in the negative direction again. Hopefully not, but let's say if something happens with Ethereum or crypto where it actually becomes more profitable again like it was in May, certainly you could see these GPUs disappear again, at least the non-light hash rate models, therefore just leaving the light hash rate models typically for gamers. Now, if the manufacturing also continues to improve and they catch up, hopefully, the way it's looking now, by the end of the year, we could actually have a fair amount of stock of the GPU that you would want to get, an Nvidia or AMD GPU at a much more fair price. Pretty much we're hoping for MSRP by the end of the year, as well as having sort of that selectability of the exact GPU that you want. That's really where the goalpost is now. Is it going to happen? I'm not sure, judging where we are now in July and judging that crypto is sort of quiet right now. There's going to be changes with Ethereum. I think it's actually pretty likely that by the end of the year, if nothing else comes in, I think we should see GPUs at MSRP and the GPU that you actually want to get. So certainly very good news. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to share with you sort of this awesome scene of the GPUs actually being in stock. Let me know what you're finding out there. I know it's going to be different in different countries, different states. Let me know if you're starting to see a little bit more availability. And remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.